Welcome to the Munro Review, where it's all about connecting, sharing, and valuing the arts in the central San Joaquin Valley. I'm Donald Munro. Today is September 27th, and we're going to be talking about the busy art scene in October. On today's show, we'll be welcoming Oakhurst artist Elizabeth Saltos to talk about Sierra Art Trails. Later, we'll learn about Selma Art Center's upcoming live performance of Rocky Horror and hear a musical performance. And we also have something special today. This is the first show of the second season of the Munro Review on CMAC, and we mark the occasion. But first, let's recap some of what I've been covering on MunroReview.com. I walked into the Good Company Players production of Seven Brides and Seven Brothers, prepared for a show that was musty and old-fashioned. Well, I was right about the old-fashioned part, but I was surprised how lively, fun, and non-creaky it turns out to be. The plot, of course, is eye-rolling, considering that 6 of the brothers in the Old West Oregon Territory march off to town and kidnap their girlfriends to marry them. This is fairly problematic today in light of the Me Too movement and the current national discussion about sexual assault, but director Lori Pisano and Steve Souza managed to skirt any kind of icky feeling in terms of the kidnapping plot point. What helps are stirring performances from Meg Clark and Chris Moran as the leading couple. They find a sly contemporary edge in their Old West characters, and wait till you'll hear their voices. They're just glorious. Seven Brides plays through November 11th at Roger Rocca's Dinner Theater. The Fresno PHILHARMONIC opened its new season with a Pops concert devoted to soundtracks from superhero movies. And yes, some of those lycra-clad favorites showed up to mingle with the audience before the concert began. My favorite was the costume for Hawk Girl. I've always loved movie soundtracks, which are often a first step for listeners who might be tempted to explore more classical music. I even picked up a new favorite score from the concert, the theme from The Rocketeer by James Horner. You can catch a terrific exhibition by Frank Arnold, one of the co-founders of Art Hop, through October. Arnold has a studio in Fresno, but he spends more of his time in Cabo del San Jose in Mexico, where his paintings sell for tens of thousands of dollars. His show at 1821 Gallery and Studios is emotional and powerful. You can read my feature interview with him on MunroReview.com. There was a lot more theater during September, and you can find my reviews of such shows as The Last 5 Years and Real Women Have Curves, which have already closed, online. I also have previews of 3 shows that run in early October: The Wolves at Fresno State, She Kills Monsters at Fresno City College, and Woodward Shakespeare Festival's Measure for Measure, performed at the California Arts Academy Severance Space. Finally, we can't forget about the Book of Mormon, which runs October 3rd through 7th at the Soroyan Theater. I'll certainly be previewing that too. Now, let's welcome our first guest. Elizabeth Saltos is a recent addition to the Foothills art scene, and this will be her first time to participate in the wonderful tradition of Sierra Art Trails. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
So you are new to the area. You've just been in Oakhurst for a little bit more than a year, right?
Yeah.
Where did you come from?
I moved out of the Bay Area. I lived in San Francisco and then Pacifica for the last 35 years.
So you were a sculptor, or you have been a sculptor for a long time, and you're known for some big public arts projects. But you've recently kind of shifted gears. Tell us about that.
Well, you can't continue to make 100-feet long sculptures unless you really have a lot of ends with a lot of pit folks, and that was a tiring and exhausting career. So when I retired, I picked up etching and decided to make a study of all the trees in Oakhurst and tie that into the geometry that I use as my base for my entire career, and then start just doing prints. So smaller mediums.
That sounds fascinating. In fact, you have a couple of things to show us, right?
Okay, yes.
So the whole thing with trees, is that something that you kind of got into because of Oakhurst? Because of all those trees?
And because I was building my studio and I couldn't do anything in it, so I started taking photographs of trees, putting them on a grid, and then I simplify the image and just keep reducing the forms until I get to the interior of the idea. Basically, it's a Greek word. It's called spagyric, means to take apart, and you reduce the form until its simplest essence. It's kind of heady, but it's fun.
But it's interesting because you're kind of marrying geometry and nature.
That's right.
Together, which we often don't do. We often kind of keep those separate.
And they used to be very separate. When my first 25 years as a career, that was the case. Now I'm just enjoying all the different types of trees, all the textures. We drive up to the sugar pine forest up above. It's like 5,000 feet elevation, and they're the ones that make those huge pine cones. Big. And anyway, so I have etchings based on all those forms. And you have another one to show us, right? Right. So this is the reduced form, and then it's completely abstracted. So it is based on trees, and it is a type of grid. It's much more abstract than this one. Is a little more clear, the idea of it. Oh, yeah. And I'm thinking of calligraphy. So I use a sumi brush on the plate, and I started scripting the forms to get the simplest kind of interior line. Well, that's fascinating. I can see the calligraphy connection. Yeah, right. So tell us about Sierra Art Trails. Okay, so this is my first time, and Jonathan Bach is this. I think it's the 18th year or the 16th. It's been around a long time. Yeah, and it's so there's almost 100 artists, and there's a catalog that you purchase. That's your ticket, and it's October 5th, 6th, and 7th. All day, every day, and you just drive around. It's kind of like open studios in San Francisco, but because it's rural, you get to navigate through different areas. And this will be your first time. It will, right? Yeah, I can tell you, it's a great day, really fun. And you get to see such fascinating spaces. You get to see these studios where these artists work. You get to meet really interesting people. Everybody's happy. Usually the weather's good. Yep. It's a pretty great day. So where can people buy those catalogs? I know you told me, was it Allard's in Fresno and A Sense of Place? And A Sense of Place in Fresno, and then all over the place. All over in Oakhurst. And you can, when you go to Oakhurst, you can actually go to kind of Sierra Art Trails Central, right? Right, and that's the Stellar Gallery, Williams at the Stellar Gallery. So you can be sure to stop in there and buy a catalog. A catalog, right. And then you'll see those big orange signs everywhere. Yeah, those orange signs will direct you, but you need to buy the catalog to support Sierra Art Trails. Yes, it's only $20. So the only downside of being an artist in Sierra Art Trails is you don't get to go to any of the other venues. No, but we've had a lot of openings. We had a show at the Jewel K FM station, is that right? The radio station? That was fun. K-Jewel, yes. K-Jewel, yes. And then the Stellar Gallery, that was just 2 weeks ago, it opened. And yeah, we're going to be having more events as well. October, I guess, up there. Lots of stuff going on. There's all kinds of stuff. All those artists, they've come out of the woodwork, and just like you, they've moved from somewhere else. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Elizabeth. Sierra Art Trails is a great It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. As I mentioned, this is the Season 2 premiere for the Munro Review on CMAC. I can't believe we've already done 12 episodes. I hope you liked our new show opener. Thanks, Kyle. We put together a few highlights for you from Season 1.
It's like watching a who's who of the Fresno area art scene. Now, looking ahead, we wanted to mark this new season by highlighting 5 events coming up that we're really looking forward to. Here they are. The Fresno Philharmonic is putting together a powerhouse concert titled Symphony of Sound on April 7th that will include a world premiere of a new work, plus Prokofiev's thrilling Symphony No. 5. Music director Ray Hotada is pulling out all the stops for this one. I always love a local premiere, and that's what Good Company Players will be bringing us when it opens the musical Newsies on May 23rd. If you're a young man and a great dancer, I'm sure GCP will be happy to see you on audition day. The Lively Arts Foundation prides itself on bringing world-class dance to the Central San Joaquin Valley. That'll happen on November 4th with Best of the West, featuring dancers from professional companies from San Francisco and Oakland to Los Angeles. Number 4, Nick Potter, a Fresno State painting professor, does fascinating work. I'm so happy to see that starting July 20th, 2019, he will get his first one-person exhibition at the Fresno Art Museum. And talk about a coup. For number 5, Selma Arts Center snagged the rights to the hot new musical Be More Chill. I caught up with director Miguel Gastelum to get a sneak preview.
Yes, Be More Chill is a new musical written by Joe Iconis. It tells a story of this young high school kid named Jeremy, and he's basically always been kind of an outcast his whole life. Then he hears about this pill called a squip that he can take, which is actually a supercomputer that implants itself in his brain, and it tells him what to do to be cooler, to be more chill. And it's really exciting that we're doing it because it's actually going to start its Broadway run in February. So if their Broadway run goes well, it could very well be playing in New York on Broadway at the same time that it's playing here in Selma, California. So that's really exciting.
Now let's welcome our second set of guests, Daniel LaJune, Emma DenBesten, and director Michael Flores from the Selma Art Center production of the Rocky Horror Show. Welcome.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's Halloween. It's going to be Halloween already.
I know.
It's coming up.
So has Rocky Horror ever played in Selma? I know it's played in Fresno before.
Yeah, it's actually never played in Selma before.
Never played in Selma.
This is the first time.
So will Selma be able to handle it?
I hope so. I mean, it's definitely rated R, and yeah, we're hoping.
Okay. So I could have our viewers try to guess what roles you play, but I think they probably guess pretty easily. So Daniel, you are Brad.
Yes.
Emma, you are
Rocky? No, I'm kidding. I'm Janet.
And you are, of course, the travelers who get stranded in the rainstorm and kind of stumble onto this bizarre world.
Very bizarre.
So
yes.
I'm curious, when did both of you first know about Rocky Horror? Like, did you know about it when you were little kids, or was it something that you kind of grew into?
So I actually first saw it when Fresno did it, I think in 2015, and immediately was like, wow, I can't believe this exists. And I watched it and, just knew I wanted to be Janet someday. So it's pretty exciting to get to play Janet.
And how about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I also saw it in Fresno when they did it a while back. I guess 2015, and I know they did it twice, so I did see it the 2 times they did it, and yeah, I was just amazed at it, and I was.
And how about the movie itself? Have you gone to see the movie, and have you done the crazy things?
Actually, no, I've never experienced the whole, the crazy midnight showings that they do, but I would love to. I know I've seen the movie, but I just haven't gone to a midnight showing, but it's on my bucket list now.
So, Michael, you told me that this is going to be kind of an edgy Rocky.
Right.
What can you tell us about that without giving too much away?
Well, without giving too much away, we're definitely excited to kind of push the envelope, and I think luckily with the Selma Arts Center I've kind of built this trust with them, so I'm able to kind of experiment and to do different things. There's going to be a lot of group activity, and of course the audience gets to partake in all of the stuff. The audience gets props during the showings, and they'll get to throw things and shout out lines and stuff. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Now this is going to be a limited run, so it opens on October 26th and plays that night, and then also the 27th. Now tell us about the 27th, because that's a special night.
So the 26th we start at 8 p.m. normal, and then still props and everything. And then on the 27th, we have our Halloween ball, which at 10 p.m. before the show, audiences will get to come in costume, whether it be Rocky Horror or their Halloween costume, and partake in dancing, music, drinks, and stuff. So with that being said, that specific showing is 18+, and then the show will start at 11:30.
Okay, okay. So, Daniel and Emma, is there a part in the show that is just your favorite as your characters? Do you have a favorite song or a favorite moment?
I think for me, it's when Janet sings "Touch It, Touch Me," because she finally, you know, comes out of her shell and embraces this different other world that she's found at Frankenstein's place. Yeah. So I think that has to be the highlight for me.
Okay. How about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Brad is kind of a not that exciting of a character. You know, he's kind of a nerdy man. So I mean, when he does get his chance to shine in his solo once in a while, that's a real big moment for him. So and she, you know, shows that he has some kind of substance to him. So
right. And you guys really come out of your shells, though. I mean, we get to see a lot of you, right?
Like a tortoise completely out of the shell, naked.
Well, we are going to actually hear a song from you in a little bit, so we're very excited about that. But tell us again, when does it play?
Rocky Horror, the Rocky Horror Show plays October 26th, 8 p.m., and then October 27th with the Halloween Ball at 10, and then the show at 11:30.
Okay, great. Now it's time for the list, a selection of things to do during October. At Fresno State, Gina Sandy Diaz directs Just Like Us, a play based on real-life dreamers and their unclear citizenship status. It opens October 26th. At the Reedley Opera House, the River City Theater Company opens the musical review Smokey Joe's Cafe on October 19th. The Fresno Master Chorale will perform a festival of music for choir, brass, and organ on October 28th at Hope Lutheran Church in Fresno. And at the Fresno Art Museum, a show of works by Roland Pickford titled California Light opens on October 19th. It looks beautiful. So we're going to take a short break, but when we return, a performance of Damn It, Janet by Daniel and Emma. Welcome back. To close out today's show, here's Daniel and Emma from the Rocky Horror Show, and they're going to sing Damn It, Janet.
Hey, Janet.
Yes, Brad?
Well, I've got something to say.
Yes?
I really loved the skillful way you beat the other girls to the bride's bouquet. The river was deep, but I swam it. The future is ours, so let's plan it. But please don't tell me to can it. I've one thing to say, and that's damn it, Janet, I love you. Oh, the road was long, but I ran it. There's a fire in my heart, and you fan it. If there's one fool for you, then I am it. I've one thing to say, and that's damn it, Janet, I love you. Here's a ring to prove that I'm no joker. There's 3 ways that love can grow. Not good, bad, or mediocre. Oh, Janet, I love you so.
Now we're engaged and I'm so glad that you met Mom and you know Dad. I've one thing to say and that's Brad. I'm mad for you too. Oh, Brad.
Oh, damn it.
I'm mad.
Oh, Janet. I love you too. There's one thing left to do, and that's go see the man who began it. When we met in his science exam, it made me give you the eye and then panic. If there's one thing to say, then that's damn it, Janet, I love you. Damn it, Janet.
Oh, Brad, I'm mad.
Damn it, Janet. I love you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Well, that wraps it up for this month's episode of the Munro Review. Be sure to keep up online at munroreview.com and check out all the changes on the site, including a new optional membership feature. A big thank you to our volunteer crew, and a thank you to all our guests. Elizabeth Saltos for Sierra Art Trails, and Michael, Daniel, and Emma from Rocky Horror. And for all of you, please keep exploring and supporting the local art scene. We'll see you next time.